Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Edison, and welcome back to Cat Golf. Now, we're in for the late night special tonight. It is currently 11:17, and now I'm something of a grandpa myself, so I wouldn't normally be up this late, but I just got back from my parents' house where every Friday night they do pizza night, and I go over there, spend some time with the family. Let me apologize in advance for swinging around in this chair. It's my office chair. I will definitely be doing this throughout the episode today or tonight, whatever. So my apologies, but yeah, I just got back from pizza night. And usually on Friday nights, it's a late night. I stay over there for quite some time, so I don't get back. It's about 30 minutes from where I live, my apartment. So I won't get back until usually it's 9 or 10. Tonight it was about 10:30, so I've just been sitting here rotting since then, and I decided might as well make better use of my time, and make some content. So tonight, some of the conversation with my brothers revolved around relationships. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera either. That's like, I don't know, the camera's in a weird place right now. So, but anyway, some of the conversation tonight with my brothers revolved around relationships. I'm newly out of a relationship. My first relationship, actually. I realized in the first episode I didn't really give much context about myself outside of being named Jeremy and from Alaska or something, whatever I said. That's not, obviously I said that wasn't true, and that's not true. I'm going to be 25 in a month's time. So I'm a youngin'. I didn't get into my first relationship until I was 22, back in the year 2022, which actually was a great year for me. I found that year to be quite a good year, personally. I know that's a very subjective thing, but I'm just saying, for me, it was a good year. But yeah, I'm newly out of that relationship, which was, as I stated, my first relationship. And I'm in this weird sort of nebulous space that I thought would be interesting to explore tonight, in this late night episode of Cat Golf, where I feel sort of in limbo between wanting a new relationship, and wanting to isolate myself entirely. So my history is basically, I've always been an isolationist, basically. Growing up, I was homeschooled. Nightmare. Awful. Miserable. If you want your children to hate you, I would recommend you do that. You homeschool them. It was absolutely dreadful. I mean, besides the freedom of making my own schedule, essentially, and being able to do my schoolwork whenever I wanted to, and being able to work, not a full-time job, but basically a full-time job. I remember I got my first job when I was 17. 17, yeah, I think I was 17. But because I was off so much earlier than like the public school kids, I was able to go in most days at like noon and work until like 6 or something. So I was able to have like a decent work schedule. Of course, I got paid shit money because I'm a high school student. And also minimum wage has not fucking increased in, I don't even know how long. But that's, besides the point in this case. But yeah, besides that, I had zero social interaction, especially with people my age. So I was very, very isolationist, very, very isolated. I would say most of my late teen years, from like, I want to say 16 until I turned like 22, I suffered with loneliness. It was difficult. When I went to college, I commuted, and it was a long drive, about an hour and a half every day, both ways. So I always felt very disconnected from that community as well, because it's like I was there, but I wasn't. My friends were going to parties, doing this, that, and the other thing. And of course, as I said in the last episode, I'm a very anxious person. I'm a very awkward person. I don't do well in social situations. So I wouldn't find myself at parties. I don't consider myself a party person. I've never drank before. Actually, that's a little fun tidbit. That is actually true about myself. I've never had a drink before, and I don't know if I ever will, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I'm not a party guy. So it's like they would tell me about these parties and all this other shit that they were doing, and I would get jealous in the sense that I was not a part of it. And it's like I don't know why it would hurt my feelings so bad, because it's like that's not even something that I'm particularly interested in doing. But because I didn't even have a chance to not do it, it kind of upset me. It's like I don't want to be invited to the party, but I want to have the chance. I don't want to go to the party, but I want to have the chance to say no at being invited to the party. Do you get what I'm saying? I know some people who are like introverted think that way, but yeah, that's how I think. Long-winded way of saying, yeah, so I'm in this limbo right now of wanting another relationship. Now, I know it's very bad to hop relationships. And when I say I just got out of this relationship, I didn't literally just get out of it, but I kind of did. It's a complicated situation. My ex and I were on and off for quite some time. We broke up in December initially and, went back and forth basically until very recently. So it's very complicated, I'll say that. But yeah, I'm sort of in this weird space where it's like I know that I want another relationship, but at the same time I don't in my brains, for some reason my brain is telling me that I'm not capable of falling in love again. And I've heard that that's a common thing that can happen during breakups. But it's a very odd feeling because it's like before I got into this first relationship, I spent so much time in my early 20s and even my late teens just pining after like relationships. I would see content on YouTube, content on Instagram, all that shit. And it was like, look at all these happy people, even people that I knew, like people that I worked with at my shitty jobs. They would be in relationships, they'd have boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And I felt like I was missing out on something similarly to the party situation, whatever. I felt like I was missing out on something. So, but it sounds so shitty when I say I feel like I was missing out on something. That's not the only reason why I wanted to get into a relationship. Obviously, I felt very alone. And I was like, the cure to that outside of friends, which I didn't have too many of at that time, was, having a girlfriend. And I always felt like I had a lot of love to give somebody. And I was like, I would love to be a boyfriend. But it did not happen until I was 22. I was very, very grateful when it did happen. I literally thought that I was going to die alone and I was going to live alone forever, which I think looking back is such a childish thing to think because it's like I was 22 at the time. So it's pretty old to like get into your first relationship, I'd say. But considering that people are getting into relationships later and later these days, maybe not necessarily anymore, but it's like that just felt very weird to me when all my friends and all the people that I know who were in relationships way earlier than I was. But it's like I don't operate in the same way that my friends and the people that I know do. I'm my own person. So yeah, I keep expanding on this point. So basically I'm on dating apps. The godforsaken fucking desolate scorched earth that is dating apps. And they've gotten much worse. So initially in 2022, before I met my ex-girlfriend, I was on dating apps for a while, actually, for like pretty much since from the beginning of that year until June when I met my ex. It was a nightmare. I think I literally only went on one date with one person, and it was not awful, but it was awful. I was very, very awkward, very uncomfortable, and I think that I was putting her off a little bit. Yeah, but it was, oh my God, that was a nightmare, kind of. But yeah, I literally only went on one date. I did match with quite a few people, not quite a few. I matched with a decent amount of people in that time, but it never actually went anywhere. Like I never went on dates with any of these people. I didn't really pursue it too heavily, but yeah. So I'm on them again, and I feel like it's gotten worse. It's like on Hinge, for example, you can only like 7 people a day now or something ridiculously small. It's like they don't show your profile to anybody. I don't think my profile is being shown to anybody. And then they limit your likes so much that you almost have to pay them to be able to like more people and to boost your profile, whatever the hell that means. So it's a scam, and they've raised their prices, of course, as everything has gone up in price. So now it's like if you want to boost your profile if you want to get more likes and boost your profile, it's like more than $30 a week. That's like a deal that they have. Or you can pay for like 4 weeks, or you can pay for like a year. And the prices are insane. I don't see why anyone would spend money on that. It's like this is their tagline is like the app that's meant to be deleted. Okay. Well, you're making me pay fucking, $130 for a year subscription or something ridiculous like that to maybe even get my profile seen. That's like insane. That's ridiculous. But I look at the people on there and I'm just like, I don't feel anything. And I know, I see some pretty decently attractive people, decently attractive women, and I'm like, my brain is like they're attractive, but I don't feel anything. And this is like where the limbo thing comes in. I feel like I'm in a desolate space of wanting a relationship and not wanting a relationship. I know after a breakup. It's good to spend some time by yourself, reestablishing who you are. Because in relationships, we lose ourselves, and that's a common thing. I don't think it's necessarily an awful thing. When you're with somebody, especially when they live with you, and my ex did live with me, it's all consuming. They really become a staple of your life. Everything sort of starts to shape and mold around that person. And then when they're gone, you're shattered. It's the pain was akin to of the breakup. The pain of the breakup was akin to like losing someone, but almost worse, because at least in death, that is final. That is closure. The reasons my ex and I broke up were very ambiguous, and it was just like a lot of left a lot of room for pondering and such. So it was very difficult for me to navigate, and it's still very difficult for me to navigate because I feel like a teenager again, almost, in that I'm living on my own for the first time, like alone. I'm in this apartment that we used to live in together by myself completely, besides my cat. He's adorable. Maybe he'll make an appearance at some point. Not tonight, but in the future. And it's horrifying. It's so scary. The January this year, which I mentioned in the previous episode, is the winter was so hard, mainly for that, I would say, because the weather was awful, and it was so hard to readjust. There were rooms of the house that I wouldn't go into, and this is not a big apartment, mind you, but there were rooms that I couldn't go into. I wouldn't open the windows because it would remind me of days that we spent together or whatever. A lot of, I guess, typical breakup shit. It's so melodramatic, I think, when I say it out loud, but it was a very real thing that I went through, and in a way, I'm still going through it. I'm still sort of reeling, and in a way, I feel broken. This is another way that I feel broken, because it's like I don't know that I can be okay on my own, and obviously, I've been living on my own now for 4 or 5 months now at this point, so I know I can technically be okay, but I feel like, and I was talking to someone, one of my other friends recently about this. I feel like I can be a better person when I know that I'm being a better person for someone else. Like when I know that this person is depending on me to be the best version of myself, it makes it easier for me to do that. And I know that's not healthy. That's probably not a good thing. And that's part of the reason why I feel like something's wrong up here, because it's like, why do I think that way? I don't know whether it comes from, childhood things, which was very messed up, as I may or may not have said, or what? Just mental illness. I don't know. I literally can't tell. But yeah, I feel an urge, and I feel like I'm gonna be 25 next month, and that's scary, because it's like, I don't know. Do teenagers think that they're not gonna live past like 20? Is that a common thing for teenagers to think? For some reason, I never really envisioned my life this far out. Because of my stunted childhood, I could only really see myself at my parents' house forever. I was so fucking scared of being stuck there for my entire life. But I broke it, and I got out, and that sort of like unlocked everything in my world. So now I think a little bit differently, but for the most part, I feel mentally like I'm going back to that place where I was, where it's very isolated, and I'm trying to be more social, and I'm trying to go out and do more things and put myself out there, quote unquote, whatever that even means. But it's hard for me. It's very difficult for me. Like I said, I'm very anxious. I'm very scared to do those things, especially by myself. It's like when you have a partner, it's much easier to go out and do things in public. Like anything really, like go to the movies. I do like going to the movies by myself, but I haven't been going because the theater is now a scary place for me. And my ex didn't even like going to the movies with me. Not really. I mean, we did go and see quite a few movies, but I had to beg sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's just, I feel like that's one aspect, and I feel like so many things in my life right now, I'm just doing out of necessity and not because I enjoy them anymore. So most days, it's very difficult for me to do anything that I view as productive. I just don't have the motivation to do it. I feel like it doesn't bring me joy, and I don't want to do it. And I've lost joy in a lot of things that I used to enjoy. And the other day I looked that up, and I burst into tears of the fucking description that Google gave me at, that's depression. That is depression. When you lose, it's a symptom of depression when you lose enjoyment in the things that used to bring you happiness. So it's very sad. It's a lot to deal with. And this is probably way too early in this fucking broadcast to be trauma dumping on you all, whoever's watching this. But it felt necessary. It felt like something that I wanted to do tonight. Obviously, late nights elicit these sort of feelings. That's why I don't stay up late, bro. I'm in bed by 7:30 most nights if I'm lucky. No later. I'm not up later than like 9 p.m. Because it's just, there's nothing good that happens at those late hours. I just get in my head and I start thinking, and it's scary. I don't like it. I don't like to spend too much time up here if I don't have to. But unfortunately, that's how I spend a lot of my time. So I'm sort of blathering now. I think we're hitting a natural stopping point in the episode. But yeah, I just kind of, I don't know if I actually said anything of importance or value. I sort of just like trauma dumped about my life and then about to dip on you. But basically, yeah, I where I'm at in my life right now is I feel like I am stuck in a limbo between wanting a relationship and not wanting one, and I feel like I may not be capable of love again. And in a way that's true, because it's like I'll never love someone the way I loved my ex. That's I think that's fact. And maybe she'll never love someone the way that she loved me. You know, love comes in very different forms, and each person that you love is, that form of love is different. And that's scary to me. I need things to be very routine and to have a track for me to follow, or else I don't participate. How this unfolded sort of shattered that, and I'm starting from square one again, and there is no rule book to follow necessarily, and I'm just sort of like thrown out to sea, and I'm having to learn how to swim on the spot. I apologize if you can hear some background noise. I live on a very busy street, and you may or may not get noises like this in future episodes. There's a train right outside my apartment that is very, very fucking loud, and it's very, very annoying, and I apologize deeply. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching, of course. This one's a little beefier, perchance. Yeah, so this has been Cat Golf, and I'll leave you with this. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do all those fun things. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you again for watching. Have a good night.